G'day, we're David and Paula. After 40 years, we took a gap year from work, bought a van and did a lap right around Australia. And it was life-changing. So now we're trying to rebalance life, work, the van travel in Australia that we love, and still ticking off some overseas bucket list items. And now we're on our way to the North Pole in Greenland. After 24 hours flying to France, we stopped, paid our respects to fallen soldiers at some sad war memorials. Another plane to Svalbard, got on this state-of-the-art Icebreaker expedition cruise ship, and we're heading to the Arctic. The ice is getting thicker now. We lean from one side to the other, don't we? So this is deck 5. It's the only deck that you can go all the way around.
Oh, the chair's hot. It's heated.
Yes.
Oh.
So it's a very efficient ship. It operates. It operates on electric power, but it uses an LNG, so liquefied natural gas power plant, to charge the batteries, so it can actually run quite silently when it's just operating on the electricity. But they reuse all of the heat from the engine in through the piping for the floors to keep the floors warm, and the seat we're sitting on.
It's nice and warm.
because out there
it's very cold.
And we haven't got our woolly parkas, we've just come for a walk for some fresh air. So you can hear that as we go through patches in the ice, it goes quiet, and then we start thumping through the ice again. We've had an exciting day.
Yes.
Yes. Didn't we? Oh yes, we were getting ready for a lecture about things like the polar plunge, which we still don't even know whether we're stupid enough to do that yet. But we were thinking about that, and then we got an announcement from the captain, and this happened. And the whole ship stopped, and we stopped for 2 hours just in the Arctic.
Just watching them.
Just watching them, and they came up pretty close to the ship as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, to have a look. So there's one of the bucket list items ticked off. Yeah.
I hope we see more now.
The captain did a presentation last night, and they were all sort of talking about the fact that on all the other voyages they'd managed to see 1 or 2 polar bears, and he just sort of said, the expectations are up on him. But anyway, so it was a great day today. We've been crunching through the ice
All day.
All day. So they're expecting that they might get to the North Pole by tomorrow. We don't know if that's going to happen yet, so they're just creeping their way through the
I
ice.
suppose it depends on how many animals we see on the way.
Yeah, well,
How many times we stop.
Yeah. But anyway, that was very exciting because that's one of the things that you hope to see, and then to see mum and 2 cubs, and they were curious enough, to see what this thing was. And hey, g'day.
G'day.
We don't normally do breakfast shots, but there's a few places on the ship that we can have breakfast, but we've sort of taken to just having a very light breakfast up on the panorama deck where we can sort of see out the front. Not that we can see too much for the fog, but you can see all the ice being broken up. So.
Feel it.
Oh yeah, we've been sort of shaking around, and you hear the crunching of the ice. And the ship zigzags to try and find the soft spots. So sometimes the ship's leaning, one direction or the other. So the night ride wasn't as smooth as the previous night, but still very good.
Exercise.
Sort of. I've had a head cold, so it hasn't sort of helped. But. We're not actually that big into cruising, but these adventure cruises we do like. But the one thing is you've sort of got to get out and get yourself moving. A bit different to van life.
Very different.
where you do.
You're moving all the time.
Well, we certainly do, and sort of keep going. But we're about a day away from the North Pole now, but we're heading in the wrong direction. We're heading east rather than north. That's, as we've said before, the captain continues to sort of chart his way through where he thinks the softest ice is going to be to get into the North Pole. So, as you can see, we've actually just got this stretch of open water that he can find. It's actually pretty quiet now, but it's been crunching and bumping all night through the ice. Yep, I am holding the camera straight. The ship was on a decided lean because they're zigzagging through the best water. So we do a fair bit of turning. And we've both got squeaky shoes on the wet deck. Yeah. What did you say?
It's damp out here.
We got the drill the other day, so if we have got bad in the ship, this is what we're going. These can take something like 100 people each. If we have to abandon ship on the land, we have to wear these big sumo suits. This is the smoothest sailing we've had for a couple of days because we've largely been crunching through ice, but I think on the next lap or two around the ship we'll be hitting the ice again. It might not be clear for scale, but for reference, that ice is sort of just a bit under a metre thick. So this is all like 1 year old ice. I thought Paula was going to take a quick sit down then on the warm seat. Now what time is it now?
Oh, coffee time. Right time for Dave.
Hey, g'day. We've slept in slightly. It's like 8 o'clock ship time. The ship hasn't adjusted time because it's cutting back and forth across the meridians pretty constantly as it's zigzagging its way up to the North Pole. So we just stay on Paris time just to keep everything pretty constant. And of course it doesn't really matter because it's light 24 hours a day up here, but at the moment in local time we're at solar midday, so the sun's sort of at its highest point anyway, and you can't even tell the difference. But the ship is at dead still, right? We're just dead still in the ice at the moment. But when you listen carefully in the still, you could just hear the constant crackling of the ice, just as it's just consistently sort of breaking up and shifting with wind and movement, even when the ship's dead still. But it's a bit eerie when it all stops and you're just absolutely calm. It was always going to be ambitious if they could do it by last night, but they're hoping that by the end of today they'll have got to the North Pole, and then some of the first off-ship activities can occur, and that's all just dependent on the ice and how they get there. And of course we've stopped for hours and hours and hours on the way up when we had the polar bear sightings, which everyone's very happy about. It's a relatively balmy morning this morning. We're sitting at about 1.8 to 2 degrees Celsius air temperature, but we have got a reasonable breeze coming up over the deck, and when we're dead stopped, so it's actually the natural wind. Every lap you do, it just looks remarkable. I mean just check this out, dead stopped. We're actually reversing up. I've actually got the wind pushing me across the deck at the moment. A couple of great presentations yesterday. You wouldn't think that you could get in an entire hour sort of briefing or lecture on the formation of ice. And then there was this tremendous French lady who's one of the guests on the ship, guest speakers, who presented a documentary last night. She and a team a few years ago did an overland from the North Pole trying to get to Greenland, and as it was, the ice just breaking up even faster than normal seasonal sort of ice meant that they couldn't complete that trip. But they also spent a fair bit of time diving underneath the polar ice. I mean, quite brutal conditions and all of those sorts of things, and just amazing that they're dragging all their gear. A significant achievement, particularly when you sort of stop here from the comfort of the ship and just have a look at all of this and consider that they were pulling their sleds and their diving gear and everything across it. Okay, we're moving forward again.
This is the wet lab. We call it wet because usually we are doing a lot of experiments with seawater. Pump. Oh, you can use it if you want.
It says don't touch.
Very simple. There is just one rubber band that connects the two taps, and the smart thing is connect the messenger here and slide along the cable.
It all out.
Up. They close the tap and close the tap here. Oops, my fingers. And then you have the water. Have you seen the ice? Sometimes you have black carbon. So the black spot is not. It's just pollution. Storms and rains are washing the land, bringing some nutrients. But some sediment exactly. But from you see the white spot, we call it ocean snow.
About to head down for our briefing for when we get to the North Pole, and hopefully sometime over the next 24 hours or so we'll be able to get off and experience on the foot. But we got some special tickets, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
What are these tickets for?
The polar plunge.
You looking forward to that?
Cold already.
Let's see. But Paula's trying to decide, is she just going to jump in, or is she going to ease herself in down the steps? What do you reckon?
We'll have to wait and see, won't we?
All right, better go down for the briefing. There's a bit going on over the next 24 to 48 hours, isn't there? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we've just been through the briefing. So we're about 13 nautical miles from the North Pole. So we will get to the North Pole shortly, this evening. So we're all having dinner a little bit early. Then we'll go out onto the foredeck of the ship to get to the North Pole. They've actually had a look at the ice on the radars. So they don't think that the ice that's going to be around the North Pole at the moment is actually going to be stable enough and thick enough for us to land there. So we'll visit the North Pole on the ship. And in any case, with all the currents and the wind and all those sorts of things, the ice keeps moving anyway, so you come off the North Pole pretty quickly. So we'll physically get to the North Pole on the ship. They've identified some larger ice flows. So it looks like tomorrow we're going to get off the ship for a considerable period of time. We've got a group of marathon runners who've joined us. So they're setting up a course, a track, and they're going to run a marathon tomorrow on the ice. That just sounds like
A bit of a folly.
sounds like crazy stuff.
Apparently that group of people have done it in every continent.
Yeah, it's a
thing that they do.
Yeah, because they're doing that. We get to spend an entire day around the pack ice and having a look and on and off the ship pretty much freely. Yeah. We may do the polar plunge tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, and then sometime after the day after tomorrow, as we're sort of heading back down towards Greenland and the Scoresby Sound, we might get a chance to do some of the other activities on Zodiacs and on
Kayaks.
and on the kayaks. We're just having a bit of a consideration about which walks we do. It's a bit hard getting a clear answer it's not so much a clear answer. They're having difficulty sort of giving us a view about how hard they want to push for their most arduous polar hikes, because they don't actually even know where that's going to be. That's all going to be depending on conditions. So but the guys who lead that sound like they want to be pretty sporty and really push the thing along, whereas we like to saunter a little bit. So we'll figure that out. But then they have some other walks in between. So the only thing we've got to decide is, do we want to be on the bridge and be quiet, or do we want to be out on the heli deck and be noisy? And Paula's so noisy normally, so I don't think it really matters if you're sitting at the deck or if you're sitting at the bridge or if you're sitting out on the deck, do you?
No, other than you won't get in the photo.
Oh, don't you get in the photo if you're up on the bridge?
No.
I haven't got my winter gear on. You can see we're just barely crawling. So between the wind, the ice movement, the captain's got to just keep adjusting sort of the direction he's heading, because he's got about a 40 centimetre square that he's got to hit the North Pole. So through the ice, through the wind blowing across the hull, the tides, all that sort of stuff. So we're less than 10 kilometres away from the North Pole now. So this is sort of like the Last Supper before we get to the North Pole, isn't it?
It is.
How far are we from the North Pole?
Only about 8 kilometres or something.
Yeah. So we've got to have dinner and then we've got to rug up, haven't we?
Yep, we do.
So just out of the fog, straight across the front of us, we had 50 Years of Victory, which is the Russian nuclear icebreaker.
Yes.
Just sort of cut across.
And it was at speed.
See if we got it through the fog. It was pretty hard to see. That's why we were slowing down. Everybody's getting very excited now. A bit under 5 nautical miles away from the North Pole. And I've got to say, my feet are getting cold because I haven't got my boots on. And maybe these socks just aren't quite warm enough, certainly up here. Is the anticipation building, or is it just cold?
It's cold. And it's building. The music's getting more uplifting as it goes. And it's just chaos out here.
waiting for the event. You don't want to anyway. Now we're 2.5 nautical miles away from the North Pole and counting.
Picks up how nice and blue it is.
That whole sheet, the two whole sets of black ice are just opening up in front of us. I suspect if there's any polar bears around, they're all running from this. You see the ridges. Look like it's not all flat.
Almost there.
500 metres.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in 89, 59, 100, 1 cable, 108 and 80 meters, 180. Mesdames et messieurs, 100 mètres, 100 mètres, 1, 0, 0 mètres. Ladies and gentlemen, 100 meters, 100 meters to go. Mesdames et messieurs, plus que 20 mètres. 990. Oui. 1 meter to go. 1 mètre, 1 mètre, 1 meter to go.
1 metre to go.
7.
8.
999.
They're singing "I'm on top of the world" now. It's all right,
Pole is not only a destination. You are here because it's a symbol of the fragility of the nature. It's a dream for many explorers. You are living your dream. Le pôle Nord est un thank you for living this dream with us. Jean-Baptiste Charcot once said, the man should have dream that goes above the limits imposed by the nature. We are living your dream, we are living our dream. Welcome to the pole. Bienvenue, merci.
Merci.
Cheers.
So this is what the North Pole and the polar ice cap look like in the middle of the summer season. Yeah, and getting patchier. So, but yes, so you get the seasonal melt anyway. But the layers are getting a bit thinner, according to the people who operate around it in the maritime environment. We don't get to pull up on the ice here. But they've found some more solid sections of ice, so we'll get off on the ice tomorrow. Good morning, how are you?
Fine, thank you. It's okay, Doc. Take me out.
Good morning. So, but not as far out as the rifleman. Okay, yeah, okay.
The sticks just before.
Okay, but we can get photos of the ship from up there. Good, thank you.
Okay. But with the wind, I think after an hour you had it enough.
That's okay.
Yeah?
Really enjoy what there is.
Good.
Thank you. So it's our first landing day.
Yeah, look at it. It's just like freezer road.
Now, where's Santa when you need him?
Oh, you're not here.
Oh, go and have a look.
It's windy, so we won't be able to do much commentary, but the team have set up a number of photo opportunity type things with signs. We won't do that today. We just want to wander the ice, take some photos with the ship, and just have a look at the environment.
Paula's treading where nobody else is trod. Just a little bit beyond there, lots of people have trod. They've told us not to go in the puddles. I'm tempted to, but just because they told us not to. The air is quite dry, so it's like zero humidity. it's very dry. I want to get some photos. It's just quite a stark place. Come on, you. You're a tropical girl.
Yes, I am, aren't I?
Where were we a year ago?
Catherine.
Catherine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in Catherine. Yeah, some hot springs in the morning, and then we went for that lovely helicopter ride across the Catherine Gorge.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah. How do you compare it?
Very different.
We'll tell you by the end of the afternoon, depending on how the activities go. That's right. Step there.
No.
It's fine, hun, it's stiff. Paula doesn't do snow and ice normally, do you? Hey?
I'm doing what?
You don't normally do snow and ice, do you?
No.
No.
I don't usually do anything really cold really well.
But it's interesting, isn't it? I don't know if this camera is going to get that rainbow over the gunman. We decided to head over and check out the marathon, and most of them are regular marathon runners, but our new friend Kim borrowed her husband's running shoes and she just decided that she wanted to do a marathon, and guess what? She completed it. Amazing.
Walk in the slush.
Cold and exhausted by watching the marathon, Paula's heading back to the ship.
G'day everyone. Well, yesterday we got to the North Pole. We couldn't go out on the sea ice because it was too unstable, so we had to celebrate on the boat, which we've got heaps of photos of. So this morning we're at a more stable sea ice, and we've been out this morning walking around on it. It's been really good. There's a marathon run happening out on the sea ice. Strange people, but never mind. Yes, and they are really going for it, and they're doing laps around a particular section of the sea ice, and they'll be doing that for most of the day. There are other activities going on. There's supposed to be a polar plunge later on today. Dave's still out and about taking photos. He's absolutely enjoying his camera and the lenses that he's got for this trip, so hopefully we'll get some really smick shots.
But the other thing that they've done, they've set up the little igloos, look like the rescue sort of places if we have to abandon ship on the ice, so we can all have a look to see what they've done with that setup.
Made in case of polar abandon.
Yes.
There is 60. It is made of 16%.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cozy.
It's both on the ice cube, the GSK, the ground survival kit.
Okay.
That's
So it comes out off as a pod. So that's the accommodation.
from top.
Yep.
Lay down, and after we've got 15 minutes to pump it up with the manual pump.
Right.
This,
Ah.
I'm gonna show you.
Provisions in that for how long?
They said for a week, more than a week.
Right.
Because after that they will put the output from the ship.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
You're
you very
welcome.
much. Thank you. Cold.
It's the cold.
Come on in, Paula. The water's fine.
It's not.
It is. You feel it?
You know. It feels cold.
Why are you dressed funny, Paula?
Jumping in the water.
Okay. All right. Good. Good for you. Okay, so we're doing something crazy. Okay. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Where's the sun?
Right below you. You ready?
Don't forget to breathe and exhale a lot.
Don't forget to breathe. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Do you feel my heartbeat when you're dancing at night? I feel your heartbeat in my dreams sometimes. If you ever need me, you can hit my line. I'm one call away, girl. Do you feel my heartbeat? I feel your heartbeat. Do you feel my heartbeat?
Oh, yes, please.
You feel good?
Yes, very good. Yeah. Do you want to go again?
No.
Thank you. Thank you. You ready to go? Put your gloves on. How good was that?
Oh. The sun's gone.
The sun's gone. And this time last year, what were we swimming in?
Thermal water.
In Catherine. Thermal waters in Catherine.
My type of water.
You did it.
You're already finished?
We already finished, yes.
It feels good.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Wow.
She wants to go again. Oh, yeah. The faster you come, the faster you get in the shower. Well, what activity are we going to do after this, Paula?
Hey?
What activity are we going to do after this? Paula was sweating bullets
Yes, all day.
all day. It's a shock to the system. It's hard slipping in there. I think it was hard to do what you did. How are you? Zero degrees, with lots of green there. Paint sharp and jagged and stark, and see glaciers and snow up in the mountains. This is incredible. Every time we turn around, it's just another vista. It's absolutely crazy, absolutely insane. What a beautiful place. So that was pretty cool, wasn't it?
It was very cool.
A nice big graveyard, wasn't it?
It was.
Just she'd been feeling a bit seasick. Hey, the top is stunning. Again, thanks for joining us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, 100% of our YouTube advertising revenue goes to charity.